Alright, it has been a while since I made a last recording, and I'm still interested in swing trading, except that I have an issue where I struggle to get in positions, and I see that a lot of times I'm looking at a setup and it looks like it could be a good buy, and I don't enter it because I'm trying to get in at the right perfect moment, or I wanted it to be exactly where I think it could try to turn around. And then what happens is that it doesn't, ends up being a trade for me, and it starts to work. And then once the setup starts to work, I no longer get in the setup because I don't want to chase it. So at least I don't chase the setups, but I haven't been getting in them because I've been a bit too picky. But at this point, I just want to be able to get in the setup and maybe try to get near the best point I think it could be, where it could turn around right afterwards, but not be so I guess so particular about it that I miss out on so many setups like I've been doing recently. I do want to go over a trade that I had with Apple a while ago. This was after the short sell that I had on the first day that ended up working a little too much. I was not sized correctly in theory. I want to trade with $100 risk level with these swing trade setups, and for this to have been a swing trade setup, I should have traded, actually in this case, 50 shares for $100 risk level, and that would have been pretty profitable, but I did not have that amount of money in that account. I'm actually thinking about moving more money into my swing trading account so I could do a setup like that. Of course, only to stick to $100 risk level, and it's just, in this case happens to be an expensive stock, so I would trade a larger size, but I'd still have that same $100 risk level. I did trade this bounce, and this one did not work out, at least not when I got in it. But essentially, when I had that short on the first day, which was right here, and then ended up working nicely. I got out later. I got out. I guess I don't have the day anymore because it turned it into an hourly time, but I did get out of it at 179, and my short was at 196 on the first day. So my cover was around 179. Just because of the fact that it sold off so harshly, I thought it could try to maybe hold a level and then do a bounce, and then maybe it could continue to sell off some more, but I wanted to be a part of the bounce, so I did go long on the 10th, and this was at 178.05, so that was the 10th right here, 178.05. So the idea was is that it sold off massively. It also broke past this downtrending trend line that I drew right here. So, it was trying to hold maybe around this 177-ish level. It broke past the downtrending trend line. It's been holding, and I got in it, and I was hoping that it could try to hold this level and then do some kind of a bounce to sell into, and then maybe re-short the bounce and then continue to be a bear with this stock. And what ended up happening is that the next day it did open a bit lower, and I got out at 176.91. That was on this day right here. I'm gonna guess around the time that the stock opened, I got out. And yeah, I mean, it broke the level, and this pissed me off because it broke it, but just by a tiny bit. And then it just, came back to where it was, but it did fail ultimately. It did sell off some more before it got to the uptrend, and I do have the transactions right here proving that. I did trade this thing right here, and these were the days that I traded it. I guess I can go over when I shorted. Yeah, it looks like I covered on the 4th. Let me see if I can go ahead and change that right there. If I can click properly. All right, there we go. So yeah, that's the case with that. And it didn't work out, and it did bounce eventually, and unfortunately, I was no longer a part of it. I think it even looked a little bit like an inverse head and shoulders, the shoulder, the head, and then the shoulder right here. And yeah, it did a nice move, about $10. And I'm no longer in a position with Apple. I am still interested in seeing what it can do over a longer period of time, but I do have a new position. I am short at the moment, Bud Light. And Yeah, I just got short today. I was actually thinking about shorting it when it was around this 56.44-ish level, and then I just kind of hesitated, and then I figured, you know what, I'm never gonna really get the proper point, or if I do, that's great, but I shouldn't always expect it. I did short at 11.55. It did look like when I was interested in shorting it in the 40s that it was going to maybe bounce, and it did right here. Just drawing a very simple trend line, it looked like it was going to do something like that, and it just, it didn't do it for that long. It just kind of tried to hold itself, and then it sold off some more. And again, I was short 11.55 around this 56.33-ish level. It closed at 56.18. And the reason why I'm short this stock is because it looks like a super head and shoulders. So you can see the shoulder, the head, and then this looks like the shoulder. You can almost see a head and shoulders here, although it's not perfect. The shoulder is higher, and then the head, and then the shoulder, and that was a sell-off. So it's not just like a head and shoulders where there's a shoulder, head, shoulder, but it's also the shoulder of this bigger pattern, and there could be more room for it to downtrend. Obviously, there is some very bad news about it, and it seems like it could actually last for a longer period of time. The goal would be for it to at least get to 53. It would have to break under this 55 and a half level. And, it could be something that I'm in right now, 25 shares, but if it starts to work in my favor, I'm going to short another 25 shares. And then I'll be super unhappy if it tries to make a move and break this 59 level. If it maybe starts to uptrend a bit more around this 58-ish level, I might consider shorting another 25 shares. And then if it breaks 59, I'll be out of it. I do have a $100 risk level, so in theory, with my shares short, if it gets all the way to 59 and then maybe it goes all the way to 60, I'll be out and I'll lose $100. But ideally, again, it doesn't do that and it keeps selling off for the patterns and the fundamentals around it. I'm up a very small amount of money, but again, um, this could be something that could ideally break this 55-ish level and then this level right here. And then it could maybe continue to sell off some more, and I might go in at a larger position size at that point, doubling it. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I wanted to go over the trade I have with Apple because I do try to, keep this transparency and go over all the trades that I do. And this is my new position with Bud Light. It could obviously fail. That's all I have for now.